So Resident Evil 5 came out in 2009 and was released on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. It was praised for its great gameplay, co-op mode, and stunning graphics. Capcom had a heavy hitter, and they followed it up in January 2012 with Resident Evil Revelations, a Nintendo 3DS exclusively for the first year of its arrival. It was later on ported to the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the Windows platform. And with the recent release of the Steamdeck, we can now enjoy the game on another handheld device. And you know, it just really got me wondering, how would they compare in regards to presentation on these two very different eco-handheld systems that are nearly a decade apart? First, let's take a look at the Nintendo 3DS version. The 3DS was somewhat equivalent to the Nintendo Wii in terms of raw computing power, but with the more modern rendering techniques up its sleeve, allowing a much more greater flexibility on its system for the developers. And as a result, Resident Evil Revelations remains one of the most technically impressive showcases on Nintendo 3DS portable system. The enclosed localized areas of the game affords Capcom to squeeze out highly detailed textures and locations on screen, while leaving enough GPU grunt for an impressive showcase of per pixel lighting and other visual effects while providing a smooth performance overall on the system, rarely dropping below a 30 frames a second. Resident Revelations renders in at 800 by 240, a standard setup no doubt on the 3DS XL system, and in comparison to the native 1280 by 800 resolution on the Steamdeck. There's no real comparison here hardware-wise, where the Steamdeck is being a far more capable device, rocking AMD's latest mobile GPU, renders this game flawless at 60 frames a second without even breaking a sweat. And that should come as none of a surprise really, when it's able to run AAA titles such as Elden Ring. This game, however, still holds up really well graphically at maximum settings, and controls wonderfully on the Steamdeck control layout, which is what makes this comparison so interesting, when both systems are so different in terms of power and eco, while the end product is so similar. Now with both of these systems side by side, the comparison becomes much more obvious. The resolution difference is apparent right away. Not too much has changed at first glance, however, between the two. Higher quality textures and high resolutions are noticeable on the Steamdeck, but the smaller screen on the 3DS actually hides this quite well. What stands out most is the brightness between these two. The screen on the Steamdeck is far more vibrant and brighter than on the 3DS, but that's a given with the age difference between these two. Another noticeable difference is the field of view is quite a bit narrower on Nintendo 3DS. This is the result of a lower resolution being the culprit here. However, the smaller screen on the 3DS simply would not favor a bigger FOV, as it would be far more difficult of an experience to see what's ahead of you. With all that said, I still prefer surprisingly Resident Evil Revelations on the Nintendo 3DS. Even with all of its outdated hardware, cramped controls, lower resolution, lower textures, lacking brightness, and lowered field of view, there is simply one thing that the 3DS brings to the table that the Steam Deck simply can't achieve, and it's the 3D effect. Yes, on this game title, it is simply gorgeous, and if you played it, you know exactly what I am talking about. The 3D depth without requiring any sort of 3D glasses is still quite a sight to behold even till this very day, and Revelations is one of the better examples on the 3DS system. Unfortunately, I cannot show you through the camera the recording of the 3D effect that comes into play, but I digress. The game is great on any platform you enjoy it on. Thanks for watching guys, like and subscribe. Till next time, peace.